Right here we have some seaweed or seagrass. It's large algae growing in the water. The sea or the rocks below the high water mark. And plants which live in quiet water like bays and estuaries, and they have high energy of environment in the rocky coast. The seagrass looks like. You can see by how they're flowing the direction of the current. The water's going southwards from the north. When we went to Sarasota, Florida, when we went kayaking, you could see in the salt, when they have salt marsh and wetlands, these protect the land from beach erosion. The mangroves act like a sponge and clean pollutions, and the animals and the fish live in the tropics right over there. Okay, right over here we have red and pink algae. It's a red plant, it's called marine algae, very rare in fresh pool water, but forms in warm and cold seawater, like in the oceans. Sometimes your bathing suits could bring it over to the pool. That happened one time, and we had pink algae in the pool, and it was a big mess. We had to replace the pool vacuum and everything that touched the algae because it was very hard to get out of the pool. Right over here we have gold algae, golden algae from a gold plant. It's orangey yellow from the keratin, and it consists of shells that store carbohydrates and oils. Right over here we have a red tide, also a fire plant, and it's toxic to marine animals and marine life and people who eat contaminated seafood. You can see New Jersey has a beige sand because of the quartz and the granite in the sand. Bermuda has pink sand from the coral reefs. You can see the sand is blowing into the camera. Florida has powdery white sand. It's kind of like flour. It's so soft and fine, and it's from the limestones and fossilized coral reefs. We have some sand right here from like Galapagos Island, Hawaii. They have this black sand. It's from the volcanic ash of the basalt. Okay, you're probably wondering what this milkshake has to do with the oceanography. It's going to be showing you the turbidity currents. You can see the bigger sediments, they go to the bottom, and that's calling downwelling. It brings warmer waters down, and you get upwelling. As I turn this on, all the sediments are going to come up. And it brought up all the sediments and the nutrients, and usually the fish come up. That's called upwelling. That's good for fishing. Right before, after a storm, it brings up the nutrients, and the fish like to come up and eat the nutrients. All the sediments are going to be at the bottom of the thing. You can see the sediments right there, the chocolate chip, and you can see as I start drinking it from the straw, the sediments will come up, and it'll be like I'm dredging the chocolate chip cookies. Okay, I'm going to stir this all up, and you can see it's going to cause a turbidity current. The sediments are coming up to the top. So right now, it's bringing up welling right now because the waves are bringing the nutrients from the bottom, and it's bringing it up. So it's good for fishing right before a storm and after a storm, or during high tide you get upwelling. I'll tell you the different kind of shells right here. We have a clam shell, we have a mussel shell, a conch shell, a scallop shell, a starfish shell, sand dollar, snail shell, jingle shell. I'm not sure what this one is, and that's a horn shell right over there. Okay, right here we have clams right here. They have thick shells right here and a steady flow of water right here. They provide oxygen, and they're good for plankton. Here, clams, they have filter feeding. They bury themselves into the sediments in the sand, and they have a siphon that extends up to the surface and filter the plankton out, like snorkeling. They are food for fish, snails, clams, sea stars, and humans eat them too. If a snapper or a salmon is not cooked properly, it could have dinoflagellin toxins and could cause shellfish poisoning, feeling drunk, speech difficulty, dizziness, and nausea 30 minutes after consuming it. After ingesting it, it passes within 24 hours of eating it, and there was 300 fatal reports on the news and 1,750 non-fatal reports worldwide.